Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup Show Match. We got 5 rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way today, but first and foremost, for those of you who aren't quite acquainted as to who I am, I'm Red Eyes, your ever-lovable and adorably cuddly caster, bringing you that daily dosage of butt kickery, tomfoolery, and all-around shenaniganism. No BS, and let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. We're kicking things off with the very first map ever introduced, Erangel, but what kind of teams do we have coming to the table? We got Frozen joining the Dagestan Academy, Jasper and OGC community, Faber and S4, Senator and Danger. What in the actual heck is this? I have never seen that before. One moment, you guys. There we go. Something is definitely happening with... Something's happening with the graphic settings on the emulator with this new update. But no problem, I will just switch it down to something a little bit less intrusive with it. Let's go to 90. Bam. Voila. We may end up having to restart the emulator if it comes down to it, but probably not. Anyways, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got 5 rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy. We're kicking things off with the very first map ever introduced to the game. I am, of course, speaking of Erangel. Now, looks like we are starting things off with a very centralized flight path. Our participants couldn't really be much luckier. They're left with a ton of drop spot opportunities, but it looks like it's going to be a hot spot event for the event mode here. We are going deep down underwater. Things are about to get aquatic and dangerous. Look at the render from all these teams in one spot. We got Limbo Boom taken down, leaving Magnum up for retaliation on Blago 52, in which he does implement fairly effectively, it looks like, or at least the potential to thirst him. As he tries to swim away that fishy, oops, sorry about that. As he tries to swim away that fishy is not getting anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies. All right, it does look like this is going to be all-out bloodbath warfare and mayhem. This is just a slaughterhouse underwater. We got Heartless perched ready and waiting with that M762 barrel, keeping a overwatch over his teammate Fabier. We're going to go ahead and bring up multiple angles here because there's just too much action on the board. So, to get our eyes in the skies here on the alt cam, yeah, we're actually going to go back to Dagestan. Dagestan teaming up with Frozen. And ARCRED in that 1v1, getting the takedown with the barrel M7. A nice little Uzi finish to seal it off. All right. De Muerte's Tresley cooking up a nade, trying to cook a little something here for EDVIN. Minimal damage implemented there, but enough to hold his opponent at bay. Looks like we got some people not dropping at the hotspot as they were supposed to. Ultra taking down Archer Boy. Looks like GL getting a takedown as well in the distance. Tell you what, we're going to switch our attention here on the main screen. Get eyes on more members of De Muerte. This is just an all-out slaughterhouse. Tresley and SATIVA here trying to approach the opponent from the side, but leaving their own side unattended. Tresley going to try to assist his fallen teammate. He does secure the knock just in the nick of time, no less. We're going to switch our attention to Team 17 and 14. This is going to be members of Ali and Golden Legend facing off against potentially Skill UZB and Avalanche. All the while, it does look like our friends here in Golden Legend, their more immediate threat would have to be from De Muerte, but De Muerte has their hands very full. That is Trexley being taken down then and there. But look at this. The crew in SATIVA and De Muerte already with 6 elims on the board, and 4 of them go to this man alone. Pusher putting in some heavy work. Gonna try to secure this revive, leaving SATIVA and Helios in charge of the overwatch and cover fire. Switching our attention a little a bit elsewhere, trying not to miss too much of the action. We got Bad Boy coming in from ARCRED here. ARCRED teaming up with the content creator YAKUDZA. Bad Boy with a frag in hand, trying to put a preliminary nade down, but ultimately leaving himself in a bit of a vulnerable situation. It probably could have been a fairly efficient knock it just using the bullets alone, but we are all suckers for sportsmanship, aren't we? So no worries. We still have a member of the Golden Legend crew not far off from his opponents in De Muerte, but who is it? Well, it is none other than Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan has members of De Muerte falling around him like raindrops, immediately taken down, but thank goodness for the assistance from Scoop, his teammate, able to secure the retaliatory knocks and thirst, as well as a revive just in the nick of time. Bumblebee perched on the second story here, trying to get a line of sight on De Muerte's Tresley below. Well, that all-out slaughterhouse is not quite over yet. We still have, ladies and gentlemen, 62 people alive here. Oop, pardon me. Yeah, that didn't work. We're going to go back there. I'll fix that scene up. If you're just now tuning in, welcome in to round 1 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile Summer Cup Show Match event brought to you by OGC. And it looks like we're having some distance takedowns. This is going to be at the hands of 4K Esports, shooting down onto Uzbekistan of Golden Legend. Uzbekistan looks like he suffered quite a bit of damage and not going to be able to find that revive in time. However, it is not without some benefit here. Golden Legend has put in some serious work with 9 elims already on the board, but Proxy is taken down at the hands of an enemy frag. Bumblebee taken down to below half health, but with that P90 crate gun, ooh, it's still not going to be enough, leaving everything in the hands of Uzbekistan and Scoop. All right, Jasper, a takedown on Hardboy off in the distance. We're going to see if we can catch a line of sight on that in time. Well, maybe not. Does not look to be a possibility before the action kicks off. What we'll do is see if we can find their altercation on the alt camera. So, yep, that is going to be members of ARCRED, and whatever altercation they found themselves in, it seems to have de-escalated. However, they still have Bad Boy in the mix of it. Scoop in a 1v2 against members of 4K and Rio, and ultimately faces a pretty grim fate there. All right, just to make sure we're not missing anything now, things are going to be spreading to the remainder of the map here. The hotspot drop is reaching its concluding portion, and now we're ready for our classic Erangel style show match. We got members of DG not far off in the North Georgia Pole region from, yep, that poor solo from S4 Gaming. Heartless trying to retaliate, and he looks like he does get the knock successfully there. Desperately in need of some heals. Going to try to do so here and now. Fabry going to do a little bit of the same. Preliminary boost, not a bad idea, before pushing on to this full 4-person team of Senator and Danger Esports. Even with that one member knocked, he's almost certainly going to find that revive before Heartless can get across the street and to enemy territory. All right, here we go. Heartless, P90, 53 round 9mm clip. It is still not going to be enough, and Heartless heart stops there and then, leaving Fabry as the final hope for his team in S4 Gaming. But hey, to have the CC, the content creator, joining the team as the final hope, that makes for pretty good content in my opinion. But gonna check the remainder of the playing field, make sure we're not missing anything. There is still a little bit of action here on the event zone region, And that's going to be between members, oh wow, members of Rio and 4K facing off against their opponents in Golden Legend and ALIY. Caliga cooking up some nades. All the while, it looks like DG going off in the distance. Yeah, we're going to have to redirect our attention a little bit further down south, where we got members of Cave and Darknessa squaring off against their opponents in FATUM LEX, joined by Antony himself. Nessa swallowing a hefty meal of bullets right there, but only taken down to just above 3/4 of her overall health. Trying to retreat back to some geographical cover behind this tree, but that nade crashing down on her. She was lucky to not be knocked then, but ultimately the third party takedown in the distance by, oh goodness, Limbo Boom. Knowing how to really capitalize on those opportunities. That was a great third party. All right, having a look at the playing field, we are going to bring our attention on the alt cam here. Yep, Fache, a member playing on AOR Esports alongside KAZANBAS, is knocked. KAZANBAS responsible for one of the team's 5 elims so far. Tell you what, we're actually going to pull that up on the main screen. And on the alt, we will go back up to the dangerous territory of North Georgia. Oh, maybe actually we'll go to that here, as does not look like this altercation is going to continue. So, tuning in to Dagestan Academy and Frozen, as they are just across the streetway from the opposition in Danger Esports and their CC Senator. I did see something else happening in the elimination feed. I'm making sure I'm not missing anything at this point. Yeah, it does look like we might have a potential altercation on the board elsewhere, and that would be between members of ARCRED and their opponents in QODEX, joined by EDVIN. How's everyone doing today? Welcome in the chat. Hope you're all doing well. All right, little bit of a waiting game here, but as you can see, there is a member of Dagestan. That is going to be Showman here, holding position, S12 in hand, and in a building that is being swarmed upon by members of YAKUDZA and ARCRED. YAKUDZA at the forefront of that push, potentially with the Uzi DBS in hand. Oh, and that is Raygon with a takedown there. Brought down to about 1/4 of his overall health, but still, a knock is a knock. And look, yep, the remainder of ARCRED coming in, swarming onto this altercation between members of Frozen and Dagestan Academy in Danger Esports and Senator. All right, well, Rage on. Beautiful S12 shots there, dealing out a hefty serving of damage there. We have both sides of the altercation here on the board. All right, Raygon, beautiful S12 shots onto Shaman. The deed is done. All right, look at this. ARCRED here with 12 elims already on the board. We got Lego here putting some shots down. He does assist his, oh, pardon me, it's actually going to be members of Danger Esports that secure the knock. Lego unintentionally helping another enemy team get some good damage in there on to members of ARCRED. All right, getting a look here at the playing field. Sorry about that. We're going to go on over to ARCRED. Hardboy is trying to heal up Bad Boy, desperately in need of a revive himself. All the while, members of Golden Legend pulling up to join this, making it a little love triangle here between Dagestan Academy, AOR Esports, and themselves. Looks like they're actually going to rethink that strategy and fall back to a geographical high ground. And I can't really disagree with it, but also they're still not quite alone. We see Proxy and Bumblebee riding the Stingray in a hot pursuit of members of Danger Esports. This is going to be interesting. Fly like a Proxy, sting like a Bumblebee. God, these dad jokes are so corny. I'm cringing myself, but I'm not going to stop doing them, obviously. All right, we're going to switch over to potentially to Danger Esports. As you can see, there is... Oh, take that back. We're actually going to go to the altercation between De Muerte as they await the on-looming push from members of Golden Legend. SATIVA dishing out some 5.56 damage. The remainder of his team doing a little bit of the same. YAKUDZA getting Fabry. That's a CC on CC crime right there. Two content creators duking it out in the distance. SATIVA taking a lot of damage from behind, and it's scooped for the takedown. We're going to switch our attention to his teammate Helios. Helios approaching Scar L in hand. And I gotta say, it did seem, I'm hoping that the reason for the Scar L over the UMP there was just due to maybe a shortage of ammo. Granted, the Scar L is the highest 5.56 output weapon, but I don't think in comparison to the UMP 45 close quarter combat annihilator that it could be argued as the better move. All right, but here we go. Tresley ready for action. Approaching Proxy. Proxy very weakened here. About 1/3 of his overall health. And as I say it, Arc coming in for a nice third party there, getting the knock. Tresley feeling the pressure mounting on his shoulders in a 1v4. Pardon me, scratch that 1v3. Tresley taking massive amounts of damage. Oh, and he is downed there and then. And just like that, their teammate SATIVA finds him or herself as the final hope for De Muerte. Oh, pardon me. I withdraw it. SATIVA and Tresley. Tresley did have a respawn on the board here, but looks like Tresley could be finding him or herself in a world of danger, dropping right on down into the blue zone, finding him or herself very close to Ultra and not Noobs. But as I say that, it is not without purpose. It is to stick some revives. SATIVA desperately trying to make that great escape in a purple Bentley that's not exactly going to blend in with the grass, but it will escape in style if you can. Unfortunately, dropped right out of the vehicle, and that is not looking great for them. All right, well, that's going to put the remainder of De Muerte down to Helios, Pusher, and Tresley. But boy, oh boy, to say that they are still looking very strong. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, 9 of the 10 elims that they have on the board are divided between, I guess, shared between their 3 remaining members that are not eliminated. So they are still very much in the running here. Looks like Blago has a real opportunity, and he is going to try to take it, but seeing a little too red there, focusing a little too much tunnel vision on the waterway, leaving his side angle pretty vulnerable and suffering the consequences as a result. Going to switch our attention to the crew themselves, the OGC boys and girls, with 5 elims on the board. And they, pardon me, yeah, they are in fairly hot pursuit by Golden Legend, it seems. Getting eyes on Pitikansky here. And Pitikansky just going to be riding the rays, not really overly concerned about that altercation. But Usyk doesn't have much time to lay low. Proxy heading his way regardless, dishing out a pretty great spray there with that M4, almost getting the necessary damage to get a takedown. But realistically, for the amount of time he had a line of sight on his opponent driving, that was great damage. All right, Cave in a team v team altercation against members of Ultra Esports or Ultra PUBG and not Noob. Unfortunately for Cave, they do have a low ground disadvantage, and on top of that, finding themselves peanut butter and screwed. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They found themselves sandwiched, and the second slice of bread there would have to have been 4K Esports, who does secure the elim there and then. We still have 41 people spread across 13 teams, ladies and gentlemen. tons of PUBG Mobile action left to go, and 5 rounds of this action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way today. All right, Rio, 3x M4, aimed uphill at his opponents in Not Noobs and Ultra PUBG. Limbo Boom going after OGC in the distance. We're going to pull that up here on the main screen. Tell you what, we'll get both sides of this altercation even. EDVIN taken down before our eyes, leaving everything in the hands of KODEX. KODEX on the alt cam. And boy, oh boy, talk about a final stand. And ultimately, it's a third-party attack that gets KODEX taken down. KODEX V8 downed. That's going to leave Folly as the final hope for the team, and honestly might be the saving grace that OGC needed. All right, no time to waste. We have to bring our attention to members of 4K. They're driving inbound. We see Riva getting extra close to his opponent, Aggressor here. Aggressor playing on the end of T721 alongside DAVRON. Aggressor shooting away. And that's a quick takedown on Riva, who left his guard dangerously low there. All right, we got Caliga here trying to retaliate on to Aggressor, getting the knock on Aggressor's teammate Riva. All right, switching over to the crew in Dagestan 77, playing alongside Aurora. We got Shifu Wo here cooking up a utility for Ultra. Boom goes the dynamite, all too literally, and that shack just lines them up like fish in a barrel, but ooh, revenge served cold, fast, and on a platter at the hands of Not Noobs. All right, gonna bring up members of T721 on the alt cam, and here we see it on the main. Pitikansky with a beautiful takedown there, and then on his opposition in T721. That's going to leave Aggressor as the final hope for his team. Pitikansky still just swallowing loads of bullet fire, not taking much damage, luckily for him. Aggressor going to try to be a sneaky little water snake here. Meanwhile, members, oh wow, this is going to be interesting. Members of OGC going to have to face off against members of ARCRED here and now. Ooh, pardon me. We're going to pull that up on the main screen. I'm not sure why we got somebody laying low there. Bad boy just swallowing a hefty load of damage, but look at that 180 reaction time. Shot down to 10% of his overall health and still able to secure the takedown. YAKUDZA AFK here. And look at this bad boy just absolutely playing the hero role. He says, it's all right. I can carry the weight on my shoulders. I'll inherit the beef. And look, YAKUDZA comes back in time, hopping out of the vehicle. And unfortunately, this is a tough situation. Swimming directly towards multiple enemy lines, being shot at directly from Danger Esports on their right. Desperately in need of some meds, but George does not grant them any such opportunity. It was like throwing dynamite, you know, on a little pond, and the fish just float to the top. All right, Rio and Music facing off in this 1v1, but is it a 1v1 when the third party shots from across the waterway from Riva? But goodness, these reaction times, these 180 flips are just insane. Pitikansky still able to get the takedown just from that little brief distraction was all he needed. And boy, he's thanking his lucky stars for it, but finding himself right out of the frying pan and into the fire in between multiple teams here. OGCommynuty on one side, and just behind him, members of members of Danger Esports. Stuck in between a rock and a hard place, and then ultimately shot from behind by Aggressor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to our final two teams. It is going to be a straight-up 4v3 Danger Esports versus their opponents in FATUM LEX. We got FATUM looking, you know, pretty healthy, 6 elims. But then, of course, the talk of the town for match 1 is gonna have to be the Danger Esports crew. 16 elims, ladies and gentlemen, spread across all 4 of their players included, but down to a 3-piece now. But these 3 members still have 11 elims to their name just between them alone. That is almost double what the full 4-piece in FATUM LEX has put up. And we're going to have both sides of the altercation here on the board. Getting eyes on Yaso10 here on the alt cam, perched on the roof, trying to hold Tonight at bay, M4 in hand. Not a lick of successful damage brought in there. And as you can see, Danger trying to enshroud themselves in what utility cover they can. Maybe smoke their way up to the opposition. Tonight, getting ready for war here as he mounts the ray. And here we go. They are going to make their great aggressive push. Look at these shots. Jorik getting a takedown on ASO10. Jorik with another takedown on Antony. Pushing up. He needs to reload and needs to heal. Unfortunately, it is just not gonna be enough there, ladies and gentlemen, but what a impressive effort on his end. But any way you look at it, that's got to be game over. But what a absolutely phenomenal way to kick off the show match day. Gotta give it up. FATUM LEX, 9 elims. You know, they were the underdogs in that head-to-head. Technically, they weren't, though. You know, technically, the numbers were in their favor. They did have a 1 extra person on their team, but with that 1 extra person included, they had only put up 6 elims before that altercation. Regardless, Danger Esports is not afraid of danger, and in this case, it might have been a little bit too impulsive of a push. I'm really not ready to say that with much assurance, though, because what else were they going to do? They did not have a lot of options. Their opponents had the compound cover, and the zone closing in behind them, it didn't really leave them with much but a ticking clock. But Danger Esports still ain't nothing wrong with silver when you're putting up 16 elims on the board to add to it. T721 in third with 10 even. We got OGC in fourth, coming in with 10 as well. Oop. Just knocked my mouse right off the desk. We got 4K coming into fifth here and doing so. Wow. Okay. 4K with literally, ladies and gentlemen, 20 elims on the board. Absolutely insane numbers. We got the Not Noobs in sixth place with 14. ARCRED in seventh, and even though it's seventh, it's with 17 elims. Keep in mind, this is the special event mode, so elims are going to be high. We got AOR in 8th with 5. DG, Dagestan, coming in 9th with 4. We got the Golden Legends in 10th, doing so with 13. Codex in 11th with 7. De Muerte in 12th, doing so with a healthy 10. The other Dagestan in 13th with 3. Cave in 14th with 1. S4G in 15th with 1. AVA in 16th with 8. And lastly, we got NL in 17th with 3. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's just one round down. We got 4 more rounds of action ahead of us in the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match. Stick around. We'll be right back. Alrighty, ladies and gents, welcome back to round 2 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile Summer Cup Show Match, brought to you by OGC. Now, we saw this little brief glitch that has there. It should fix itself. There we go. Once it does that, whatever. They'll jump, and it should resolve itself. If it doesn't, then I will do a quick graphics change. It won't be any big deal. Oh, that's probably why. Maybe not. I have heard that there's been some issues with the emulator since the update, but there it goes. It just has to render in. Once we drop, we'll be all good. But going ahead and getting into the thick of it, it's going to very likely be another underwater hotspot drop to kick things off, as this is a show match event. So, riding alongside the crew in OGC, and boy, oh boy, to say that they are not alone would be an understatement. Let's have a look at the map as it currently stands. We have the majority of the player base heading to the drop spot here, with the exceptions of members of Team 5 and 6, which is going to be S4 Gaming and Danger Esports. But no time to waste, ladies and gents. Let's get to it. If you're just now tuning in, this is round 2 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup Show Match event. All right, OGC dropping in, and their closest threat is going to be members of QODEX. But Pitikansky desperately trying to get looted up. He does find the S6 just in the nick of time and hits his mark with the over-under shotgun. Just an absolute slaughterhouse here happening. We're getting eyes on Golden Legends in a tussle here with members of NLO. He's got TESS on the opposite end there. He's going to pull up both sides, or not even both sides, just multiple altercations, because there's just too much happening here all at once to catch everything. And Golden Legends swarmed upon like mosquitoes in a hot, humid summer. All the while, ooh, there we see Golden Legends being brought back on the plane. A little bit of forgiving grace as that second chance at life, thanks to the event mode. All right. Here we have it. Voston coming in, UMP 45 in hand, putting out some heavy shots towards QODEX and the OGC crew. And it looks like it is going to equate to a push here. All right, Voston. I like this strategy. His teammate taking the first floor, Voston securing the second. And this is going to be pretty good opportunity to catch members of OGC, JASPER, and Clyde a little off guard. It looks like they were able to get the takedown on EDVIN, so maybe that surprise advantage may have been kind of thwarted there and then by OGC. Boston still going to push in, but no, he does have the surprise angle. They were not ready for it. Boston with the easy claps from the second story, dropping down to claim his loot and maybe take out Pitikansky. Pitikansky was not ready. Oh boy, to say I was right there, that felt good. And Vostok in a 1v1. Jasper and OGC now scratch that, make it a 2v1 as Scry coming in to assist the teammates here. And looks like is going to be able to secure a revive. Meanwhile, on the alt cam, we've got members of Team 8, which is going to be AOR, in a heavy altercation with ARCRED. Pardon me. Goodness, what are words? All right. Gonna have to switch on out here. Redlick is still not far off from his opponents in NLO. Luckily, Fachi is falling in right now. Cave Keep with quite a high ground position on that rock, getting an easy takedown of his own. But all that noise and commotion the bullets made has brought his attention to the rest of the player base here. All right, nades thrown out towards Arc. Not gonna get any takedowns there, and Keep really in a heap of trouble if he's not able to get a utility knock beforehand. One of those preemptive knocks could really help even the odds a bit, but ooh, what else could help even the odds is this distraction coming in from members of 4K Esports. This could be trouble for AOR. TESS still on the sidelines here, trying to keep the pressure on. Redlick firing away, holding the opponent off at bay, and now cooking a preliminary nade. Will it connect? Oh, it will not, but Proxy coming in the distance and putting in some quick work. Redlick knows his or her moments are very likely numbered here, just in enough situation, outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned, but Redlick with a quick takedown. TESS taken down in the distance with a third party. Now, what seems so impossible is a 1v1, and then there is a caster curse from me that gave a little ample opportunity for 4K Esports to get the elim. I'm thoroughly convinced if I hadn't said that, that they would be just fine and alive. If you don't believe in the caster curse, then you're not watching enough PUBG Mobile Esports. Magnum, the final hope for his team, Dagestan 77, in a thick of it with members of FATUM LEX. FATUM putting up a very impressive round one performance and getting the chicken dinner on the tip of their tongue. Now they're going to have to be careful not to let that confidence ride into cockiness. But here, look at this. De Muerte, DG, AOR, AVA, and FATUM LEX all in this one tiny compound. This is where it's going to get interesting. Tell you what, we'll get Redlick on the alt cam as well. Tell you what, we'll go back to the main, and there's just too many other altercations happening across the field, so we're going to pull up different fights. These cameras will not be showing both sides of the same fight. All right, well, 4K with the takedown on Redlick. We saw it in the sidelines there. Oh, pardon me, not the Redlick with a takedown. Pardon me. What are words? And now trying to add on to it, dropping down onto the shack top, firing away with the Uzi. Not a single bullet hitting the mark, unfortunately for him. On the alt cam, NLO still tussling it out with members of pardon me. That's gonna be members of ARCRED. We got ARCRED down to pardon me, they are still a full 4-piece with 14 elims on the board already. Tell you what, we're going to pull up ARCRED altercation here on the main screen. Look at this. Mollies and Hellfire being thrown underwater. Bad Boy still coming in and getting the takedown and the thirst onto TESS. Look at this. ARCRED with 16 elims and has not fully lost any members. As you can see, 9-9 had the intentions of getting a nade finish, but no, says Raygon. Beautifully anticipated. Absolutely perfectly thrown. Martha Stewart herself could not have cooked that nade better. AOR in a tussle of their own. This is the altercation that we were looking at previously, and it looks like it is still continuing here. Oops, sorry about these trees. FATUM, LEX, DG, and De Muerte, but it does look like Cave Esports is going to find their great escape from this little hustle and bustle. AOR going to try to do a bit of the same. Ego getting a takedown on to KAZANBAS right then and there, and it does look like that will be his second elim and the 7th elim for members of FATUM LEX. All right, well, Helios just stuck in, he is serving as the deli meat in a peanut butter and trouble sandwich. FATUM LEX is definitely one of the slices of bread, and the other slice of bread, which was Dagestan 77, is going to find their great escape. Helios, preliminary fire. He's got the Uzi S18 combo, relying entirely on close quarter weaponry here, and out of the Uzi clip, that is kind of the downside of it, is just how fast that clip can be expelled. The S18 just doing phenomenal work, but it is only one man with one gun, outnumbered, outmanned, and just swarmed upon, and that is quick work for members of FATUM LEX, bringing these boys up to 8 elims. And keep in mind, they are the winners of round 1. So that is definitely a healthy serving of momentum for them. All right, boy, oh boy, here we go. Catching eyes, T721. That's going to be Raw Nero, and he is being ganged on here by 4K. 4K joined alongside by the content creator Rio. Uzbekistan getting a takedown on Fabri off in the distance. Oh boy, DG putting in work in the elim feed. I'm going to try to get them up on the alt cam here and now. Looks like Magnum going to find his great escape from the altercation. We do still have quite a lot of action here on the board. Tuning in a little further south, where members of Golden Legends are still duking it out. Here, 721, Raw just outnumbered there. He did his best to hold that attic top and did a great effort with it, but just there's only so much you can do when the numbers are stacked that unevenly. We're gonna have to check the playing field here. Yep, we got more action on the board as other members of DG, this is the separate DG team, this is gonna be Dagestan Academy, and Showman is down. Croissant is the final hope. Pardon me, not the final hope. It looks like they are down for the count and about to come back for their second chance at life. No, it's Showman who had this self-revive. But will it be enough? No, says Bad Boy with a absolutely critical third-party elim still. The content here is absolutely insane. The gameplay here is next level. We are switching our attention here. We got Danger Esports duking it out with ARCRED. We'll pull up both sides of this altercation. That is Jorik downed before our very eyes, leaving things in the hands of Old and Senator as well as Tonight. Well, just as I say it, Jorik and Senator are down. The Senator has not had a very healthy campaign. Now, looks like Wazto might honestly be AFK. Tonight making his very desperate stand here, but getting that drop shot, and then the S12 almost pulling off a squad wipe, but ultimately the shot did not connect. I mean, it definitely looked like it was going to, but a millisecond earlier, and I think the bullet spray would have actually connected. I don't think it had anything to do with aim, just a brief couple of milliseconds timing. The other bullets, the enemy bullets, just seemed to connect a brief fraction of a second earlier. That's a tough one. All right. Well, Pitikansky here driving outward to the beach region as if he knows about this little straggler here, Jorik of Danger Esports. Whether or not is yet to be seen, but we got to tune in to Varenik just to see if anything's happening with that. It does not look like it will. So, going back up north, where ARCRED, are they alone to themselves? No, they are not. Bad Boy securing the finish then and there, and look, insult to injury as shots fall to the crate. Bad Boy, there is no love lost between themselves and Danger Esports, apparently. All right. Where's our next bit of action and blood gonna come from? I think we have to tune in to the crew in OGC. They are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. The rock is Danger Esports. The hard place is FATUM LEX. And these are two very, very, very intimidating teams. Even with one match as the gauge alone, match one, they both put up phenomenal performances. So this is definitely trouble if you're OGC, and I don't blame them one bit for falling back from the altercation and trying to secure their new positioning in zone. And look at this new zone, ladies and gentlemen. This could be problematic for the participants. This is going to essentially have the waterway further limit their geographical choices here. So that means even less land and surface area to choose from. And on top of that, they're going to have to make a choice. Do we go to the North Island or do we go to Military Island? And if you choose wrong, it's almost certainly lining you up to be gate kept. This is a tough one to call. But if it were me, I would think that the Northern Island probably has the best bet, and that's only because there's just currently more surface area. That is a very unstable way of assessing the zone shifts, though. So that does not by any means mean that that is for sure what's going to happen. And if it does happen to be a Military Island shift, Rio of 4K and Cave could find both of themselves in a very opportunistic position to get some easy elims on the likes of OGC, Danger Esports, 4K, ARCRED, and FATUM LEX. Speaking of ARCRED, they are driving right into a little love triangle with members of not Noobs, and here we see it, Raygon and his teammate YAKUDZA in hot pursuit. It is a raid chase here. Bachi desperately trying to retreat to a position of cover. We got Redlick providing some overwatch and cover fire. I guess we'll call it underwatch and cover fire here. Raygon taking a lot of damage, trying to do a preliminary pill boost, but bullets just barely escaping and whizzing by their ears. And as I say it, Raygon suffers the caster curse, leaving it down to Hardboy and pardon me. Yeah, leaving it down to Hardboy and Bad Boy alone. And you can't really blame Hardboy for wanting to escape that little altercation at all. Bad Boy with 8 elims to his name. Look at this, 26 elims to ARCRED so far. I mean, outside of a special event mode, you're never going to see numbers like that. I mean, it's just unheard of. Bad Boy with a beautiful takedown then and there. Will he capitalize with a push onto the aggressor? Yet to be seen. His teammate, Hardboy, is securing the revives on Raygon, his fallen teammate. Raygon responsible for 9 of the team's 26 elims, over 1/3 of the count. On the alt cam, we have eyes on members of the OGC crew, not far off at all from Danger Esports. Tell you what, that's what we're gonna catch eyes on here, and it looks like the shift has happened, and it is gonna be a North Island rotation, putting a little extra pressure on the likes of S4, 4K, and Cave Esports. But certainly UGC, who thought that they were going to be coming into an advantageous position, might also be in a bit of a problematic position here. They're finding themselves sandwiched currently already between Danger Esports as well as AOR, but on top of that, to add to it, everyone that's going to have to swarm in is just further lines of sight on OGC. Whereas Danger Esports has a lot of compound cover, OGC does have some, but they a lot less few and far between to choose from, as well as a low ground disadvantage to AOR and potentially DG. Gonna tune my attention down south on the alt cam, where Rio, the 4K, finds himself a little bit squished, and the squish is coming from the members of Cave Esports and their CC DARKNESSA. Rio trying to just lay low and not draw too much attention to himself, and he's there by himself, and I don't blame him one bit for that. No reason to give up any easy elims to the opposition. Getting eyes on Redlick as he cooks up a nade, but oh, Tosca says, nope, I think you'll have a nade yourself. I'm not hungry. You can have my dinner. There is a hefty calorie serving of frag grenade for you. All right, diverting our attention to this little tussle between NLO and Danger Esports. Jorik, AUG-23 in hand, easy claps on 999. TESS cooking up some utilities, but ultimately tonight says not tonight, Tessa, and gets a quick takedown. Senator downed in retaliation and brought down to the prone zone and thirsted to follow very soonly after. So that is going to put Danger Esports down to a 2-piece, but this 2-piece of Tonight and Jorik still responsible for 2/3 of the team's current eliminations. And that's with Tonight not having put up a single one yet. He still has time. We're going to divert our attention to 4K esports. 4K on the alt cam, but let's get him up on the main cam here as well. Oh, no reason to. Whatever takedown they just had has been completed. Tuning my attention to Keep of KV Esports, who has a great opportunity here, and whether or not Keep is aware of it is yet to be seen. But here comes the Water Snakes. It's going to be the crew of S4 Gaming. DARKNESSA getting a takedown on one of those women's distance. Keep can't keep it going, leaving it down to Strick, Vitusha, and DARKNESSA. Off in the alt cam, Rio of 4K is brought out of the equation, off of the event mode, and thirsted, bringing the 4K team down to a three-piece of Caliga, Riva, and Tosca. But they are responsible for 18 of the team's 19 elims, so very much still in the running, and not to be underestimated. Speaking of water snakes here, Strict. No one will expect a swimming bush. And Strict really swimming into a dangerous position here, finding himself numbered on both sides, and looks like YAKUDZA and Heartless are pretty aware. Heartless probably scouting underwater. Strict, knowing that he is in a very problematic situation, going to try to get his takedown, but ultimately this 2-2 split at the hands of S4, well placed, and they're going to suffer the benefit of it right then and there. Vitusha aimed out with that 3x-M4, ready to retaliate. All the while, more 4K members dropping like flies, this time at the hands of OGC. Got OGC up on the alt cam as Clyde just puts a hurtin' down in the distance with that 3x-M4. Yeah, this is a tough pill to swallow for S4. What looked like the most strategically advantageous position, well, it's getting a little bit more difficult. Even with this geographical rock cover blocking these bullets, that zone is so unforgiving, and JASPER here is just swallowing that damage. Brings me to a great point, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care who you are, what region you play in, or how high your KD is. Nobody has a higher KD than that blue zone, and S4 had to learn it the hard way. Well, ladies and gents, we're down to 8 teams spread across 20 people, and it is going to be all-out bloodbath warfare from here on out.
Let's get ready to rumble!
We got Yusik here trying to sneak up behind his opposition of Danger Esports. Looks like Danger is fairly preoccupied, keeping their eyes on this altercation between members of NLO and Rio and 4K Esports. However, Danger Esports has to have some inclination that they're probably in a bit of a tough spot with enemies behind them. While they may not know for sure, I think they are acting cautiously as if it were a likely possibility, which is smart. Voston trying to get a utility takedown on the likes of FATUM, LEX. We got Ego getting ready for action here, mounting the Stingray and trying to pull a flank rotation. ASO10, or pardon me, Mieso10 trying to provide a little bit of distraction as Ego creeps closer and closer to the opposition of 4K. Cooking up some preliminary nades. Can he get a quick takedown on Caliga? Ooh! Bad boy with a takedown on Verenic, which is going to put Ego down to himself, and Mieso10. Nice takedown on 2 birds, 1 stone. The birds were perched on the rooftop, just lined up like fish in a barrel, and it was easy pickings, but all that noise and commotion was his undoing. Was it worth it? 2 elims and being taken out immediately after? It's a tough call, especially at this stage. I would say, though, since we are down to 4 teams, probably not yet. But that's, you know, only with spectator 2020 hindsight that I feel comfortable. So in that position, who knows what I would have done. All right, getting eyes here where DARKNESSA taken out of the equation, and the cave has down to their final caveman. And that caveman is going to be Vitusha, ready and waiting in this 1v1 altercation against 4K. And it's going to be Tosca with the DBS finish right there and then. Yuzik and his teammate driving towards Danger Esports. They do not fear danger, as you can tell from that aggressive vehicle push. Yuzik trying to hit him with that sweet chin music, but it's going to be Jasper for the takedown. Tonight, retaliating onto Jasper, bringing OGC down to Patansky, Clyde, and Yuzik. All right, Yuzik still at the forefront of this, keeping the pressure on tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is down to the final showdown of match 2. We got ourselves a 3v1v1 here. OGC with all favor in their corner here. Now, as I say it, a little caster curse on them. Its odds are evened a little bit more. OGC now in a 2v1v1. It's 4K, Danger Esports, and OGC. Let's get it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Matter of fact, we're going to get both cams on the solos here. That way we know we're not missing action. No matter what, the action will be caught on camera some way or another. So if you are tuning in on any of the 5 platforms right now, I do believe that the primary stream is being broadcasted on Telegram. You'll have to forgive me. Where I live, Telegram is not really a thing, I don't believe, or at least not a popular method of it, broadcasting, at least for here. Instagram sure is, but that would be where everyone's at. Yuzik down by Tosca's nade. This is a fair fight, a 1v1 here. Tosca just committed to these utilities, but I don't think that would be the best of ideas. Ultimately, down there and then, trying to get that, self-revive off is going to be an impossible feat when you're down to the last person. And any way you look at it, though, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute powerhouse performance by these teams, and that is going to be game over. Well, got to give it up to the crew in OGC, putting up a phenomenal performance, getting that chicken dinner on the tip of their tongue finish, and doing so with a healthy 11 elims. Now check this, though. 4K, who gets second place, Tosca alone is only 1 elim behind the entirety of the first place team. So 4K, second place, but doing so with 24 elims. It's essentially a first place finish. Danger Esports in third, and doing so with 12. KV Sports in fourth with 14. ARCRED in fifth, and doing so with, 30 elims to ARCRED. Wow. Now, granted, if this is standard scoring structure, then it would be a top 8 paid, or a top 8 placement points thing. So add that to 30 elim points. That is going to be a powerhouse performance, but probably not enough to override the performance from 4K. Could be wrong, but probably not. We got FATUM LEX this time around getting 6th place, and doing so with 11 elims. NLO in 7th with 12. Dagestan 77, and this is one of the Dagestan teams, 8th place with 4 between Shifu and Magnum. We got S4 in 9th with 3, AOR in 10th with 6, Golden Legend in 11th with 5, DG, the other Dagestan team, in 12th with 4, 3 of which came from Xiaoman. T721 in 13th with 3, De Muerte in 14th with 2, AVA in 15th with 4, Codex in 16th with 3, all of which came from Watchmen, and lastly, Not Noobs in 17th and last place with 6. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is 2 matches down, done, and dusted. But stick around because we are going to be back at you in just a few short moments for round 3 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup Show Match. Stick around. We'll be back soon. Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's time for round 3 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match. And I do not understand this little render issue on the drop, but the fact is, it doesn't seem to matter much once we touch the ground, so I'm not going to overstress it or overthink it here. But as y'all already know the drill, we're dropping back in to the water region, a little bit of underwater warfare here. Water warfare, whatever you want to call it. But here we have almost the entirety of the playing field dropping in. Going to be all out bloodbath warfare. Going to tune in, I guess, to start with QODEX here. Got QODEX just trying to reach the hot base here before their opponents. What in the actual heck is happening here? Everyone's still showing as underwater. There we go. All right, Music trying to get looted. Riva of 4K trying to catch the off angle on Not Noobs and OGC. Ultra of Not Noobs down before our eyes, leaving everything in the hand of Don77. Oh, I withdraw that statement. Don has already been eliminated. That is just happening so fast. Gonna catch our attention on 4K, still in the mix of it. We got Rio holding position. Gotta let this render in, apparently. Nope, he actually is in the water swimming. Tough to tell sometimes. AOR getting in the thick of it. See if we can catch eyes on them. Who is actually still in the action here? This is ridiculous. Oh, I see. It's the ping from being on a different server, just needing to render in. I guess that makes sense. 4K Rio going off not far from us here. Let's catch eyes. Rio responsible for one of the team's three elims, but taken out in retaliation to follow suit. Riva gonna join him in the prone zone, leaving everything in the hands of Tosca and Caliga. Tosca just trying to lay low, let these numbers dwindle a little bit, because this is just a dangerous position. This hotspot is non-stop action. Force of AVA putting the Uzi to work in that close quarter tussle right then and there, and getting the takedown. We see T721 in the elim feed. All the while, Cave getting takedowns as well. AOR and 4K having at it here on the main screen. Hardboy of ARCRED cooking up some utilities aimed outwards at his opponents in T721. Looks like Raygon swallowing a hefty load of damage, or potentially just revived and desperately in need of some meds. And I think we can say safely the latter, as Arcboy tosses him a pill and some bandies and now swims onward to engage in this tussle with AVA. As we can see, Admin desperately trying to provide the overwatch and cover fire as this revive is secured. Raygon here in the thick of it. Pardon me, that's Bad Boy in the thick of it. Admin trying to hold his opponent off at bay, but Bad Boy still getting a takedown on Magnum in the distance. While it was not his direct team, it's still just impressive. Alright, Admin trying to get some scouting. Hardboy does get the takedown and the thirst on his opponent, but look, Admin just a little bit preemptively escaping the swim here, and he would have had that surprise opportunity for sure if he was just about 1 second later. Unfortunately, his opponent now has a little bit of knowledge of his location, and he is knocked underwater. It is not looking good. That's going to put Force as the last hope here in this underwater hotspot. But you know what? Tell you what we're going to do. We are going to divert our attention here to NLO just briefly, see what they're up to. It looks like we got Voston trying to heal up here with Vitusha of Cave Esports cooking up some utilities. Will it hit? Keep his teammate with a takedown DP28 style. And Boston made a serious error in judgment and did not expect Vitusha still there. Vitusha capitalizes, immediately securing his 4th elim and the team's 5th. He is responsible for 80% of the elims so far in match 3. And speaking of which, if you're just now tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, this is match 3 of 5 of the OGC PUBG Mobile Summer Cup show match. This is where some of the top content creators for PUBG Mobile of the CIS region join alongside some of their favorite Tier 1 pro teams to duke it out for an $1,100 prize pool. Lots of money to be had on the table here. We're going to switch briefly to members of, oh, wrong one, ARCRED. There is still somebody here in this hotspot. It's going to be Bad Boy holding position, but look at who is coming close to him. By the way, everyone, this Killing Machine set, they just changed the name, but that is my outfit for 4 years. So I'm a fan of this one right here. And Hard Boy just easy claps, the same as he was able to get him in the beginning of the match, getting that surprise angle on the second store. Easy takedowns. They just let their guard down, don't they? Well, Aggressor took a little bit of advantage of Hard Boy getting caster curse there. Hard Boy focused in a little too much and quickly knocked and thirsted to follow. Raygon, who had already dropped off the plane to try to come provide some assistance, finds himself in a world of hurt. And yes, Raygon, as soon as his feet touch down, he is brought back down to the prone zone, unfortunately for him. Briefly going to tune in to what remains of NLO. At this point, that's going to be Scry and TESS. Scry firing upwards from a low ground disadvantage, Scar L Tommy gun in hand. Level 3 armor, vest only at 50% damage, not looking too bad for that. Proxy Proxy of Team Golden Legend squaring off against Vatusha here, but Vatusha says no, the deed is over. Scry of NLO still pushing dangerously close to the high ground holders of Hard Boy. And who is it that got him? Oh, it's gonna be Rarino of NLO. And of course it's a thirst to follow. So, who is remaining to us back at the water region? Well, we've got Verenic, the final hope here for FATUM LEX. He does have more team members up and about, but they are not coming back to this hotspot, understandably so. It's a bit of a waiting game here for him. Oh, easy claps probably, but oh my goodness, look at the patience of Verenic, not overly anticipating or overly hungry for that Elim steal. He just waited for a brief moment, and that brief moment paid off as he caught wind of Cave Esports, knew the perfect time to strike and where to be positioned to not face immediate line of fire spray from Cave. Very smartly done. Patience pays off for Verona. And that is exactly the kind of top-level performance from you would expect from a team that has, performed in the top 3. I believe FATUM LEX with a first or second place finish in round 1, followed by a 6th place finish for round 2. But that 6th place finish bordering, I believe, on 30 kills, which is no small change at all. That is a hefty load of Elim points. So when I say FATUM LEX, one of the top contenders, boy, oh boy, do I mean it. Gonna get out of this region. It doesn't seem to have a lot of people left here. So we're going to go check in on Proxy of Golden Legends, squaring off against multiple members of Not Noobs, Ultra, and Hot Pursuit PUBG. Proxy trying to escape, but knocked off his rocker right then and there, unfortunately for him. Briefly, we're going to have a look at the map, make sure we're not missing anything else. Yeah, there's a little bit of action coming down south with the remainder of FATUM LEX. At this point, who is it going to be? It's going to be... Ego, who's trying to escape the clutches of his opponents in QODEX. Driving out of the frying pan and potentially into the fire, though, as he drives past the Not Noobs. But you know who's really stuck in between a rock and a hard place? Kind of in... Well, I guess being in between a rock and a hard place is kind of how caves are formed, but that's just corny as heck. Yeah, I'm cringing. I shouldn't have said that, but hey, when I build my time machine, we'll fix that. Ego of FATUM LEX and Strict. We're going to have ourselves a 1v1. Potentially, Ego does not seem aware of Strict's location, and Strict says, okay, Well, lining it up, biding my time for the perfect opportunity, and then the easy claps come to me. Look at the patience here. He knows that even though his opponent, Ego, doesn't have his teammates immediately here in their vicinity, he knows that they were going to be a very formidable threat and still did not put himself in too vulnerable a position. That was extremely smart, and talk about patience. Well, he is still taking a lot of hefty bullet fire, this time from the third-party threat of Dagestan 77, and ultimately Miasio aggressively pushing forward and picking off what remained of his health. Let's go a little further down south here, outside of the Ferry Pier region, where members of Dagestan 77, this is Aurora and Dagestan 77, having it out with none other than FATUM LAX. Verinik with a takedown on Shifu. Whoa. Aurora trying to reposition the vehicle to a position of geographical cover, keep it out of the line of fire of Verinik, and throw a preemptive molly that does not connect. 6x M4 might be too scoped in, quickly switching to the Uzi and deals out a hefty load of damage. Unfortunately, not Noobs were ready for a third-party elim steal, but Aurora says, no, that was mine. Reloads that Uzi and secures the thirst. All right, traveling back up north. Well, I was going to say to where Dagestan Academy, Blago found himself in between a rock and a hard place, but that is not going to be necessary. That boy is out of the equation already at the hands of the opponents in Avalanche. All right, so where should we be tuned to? We're going to go back to Aurora for just a brief moment. Aurora of Dagestan 77, getting away from the clutches of not Noobs, but out of the frying pan into the fire, and the fire is Codex Esports. Aurora is in a smoking vehicle, a ticking time bomb, desperately needing to heal and get to a position of cover. Finding a little bit of safety behind this dead bus here. Will he or she be able to heal in time? Does so successfully. Watch me pushing out, but taken down at the hands of the Uzi, but numbers don't lie. And boy, Codex had him in spades. Outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned. It's quick work on the poor souls in Dagestan 77. Speaking of poor souls here, you gotta feel for Heartless. This little sneaky Michael Phelps water snake is being swarmed on by Dagestan Limbo, Boom, and Magnum. They know he's there. They know he's bleeding out. Now they're gonna try to keep an eye on the rest of the scene here, but there is a formidable threat nearby in the shape and form of Cave Esports. And, yep, Limbo, Boom, and Keep of Cave Esports going to duke it out here and now. Looks like there might be some other action on the board, so we're going to pull that up on the alt cam. All right, we got 4K traveling around here. It looks like they're going to bow out of their altercation with Dagestan. Going to switch my attention briefly to the Not Noobs, where, pardon me, not to Not Noobs, to AOR, well, where KAZANBAS is not far off from the opposition. Ooh, actually, there's a closer opposition. We're going to get this fight on the main screen here. It's going to be Codex up against none other than MUERTE. We got both sides of the altercation here on the board. And a third-party threat potential looming inbound from KAZANBAS, or pardon me, goodness gracious, what are words? From FATUM AOR Esports. I can read. I can totally read. All right. V8 holding position. Avalanche, or pardon me, Watch Me of Codex drawing a little bit more attention. Understandable why V8 is a bit more secluded here. He's responsible for 7 of the team's 9 elims, so by far their heaviest hitter on the team, and definitely waiting, allowing his teammates to kind of draw any potential attention to themselves and giving him that little surprise factor to do what he does best, which is get those quick knocks. All right. Tresley on the alt cam just playing the patience game here. SATIVA doing a bit of the same. right, well, not a lot happening here, so we're going to dip out on one of these cams and go to the Not Noobs. Not Noobs, if they are still kicking it, yes, they are, with 6 elims to their name, and not far off from the formidable high ground holder, Limbo Boom. Now, Limbo is here spaced away from his team, so he's technically in a 1v3 and still holding the opposition at bay, but this... Oh, pardon me, a 1v4, and that 2-2 split from Not Noobs was a smart move, and now look, it has turned into a hot pursuit car chase. Limbo with some monster shots, and taking them both out, but ultimately, the remainder of the team, the off angle, just going to exemplify why these 2-2 splits can be so advantageous when executed confidently. The numerous lines of sight on the opponent, and also the ability to kind of switch up and divide, reallocate your resources and angles on your opponent. Paid out in spades there. All right, where is our next bit of action going to come from? Let's tune in to FATUM LEX. Duking it out here. Verenic falling down to the prone zone at the hands of OGC. He's definitely at a geographical low-ground disadvantage here, and I can completely understand, with those circumstances, his hesitation here. Especially being the final hope for his team, it is all riding on him to get these placement points. Well, look at this. If you are waiting for a third-party opportunity, you might not have to wait longer if you are the final hope down there. As OGC now duking it out with the likes of Rajasthan, 77, and Aurora. Magnum swallowing a hefty load of damage after getting a finish on U6 teammate Jasper, bringing OGC down to a 3-piece of Clyde, Pitikansky, and Usyk. Oh boy, and off in the distance, we may have seen it on the alt cam. Yep, it looks like we are. SATIVA with the finish. De Muerte doing what they do, living up to their name and dishing out a little bit of death to their opponents, bringing them up to 7 elims and going to carry on as a full 4-piece if they can secure these revives before the formidable push. No time to waste. NLO going off in the distance. That's 999 with his first elim or his second knock, yet to be seen. But swarming upon a 4-piece of De Muerte. De Muerte, as we just saw, at 11 elims. Look at these nades. Oh, goodness. Sorry about that. I don't know how that even happened. Tresley responsible for 4 of the Team 7. It looks like we may have a little freeze here, ladies and gentlemen. That's totally okay. I will fix that. We're going to switch over. Yep. Don't worry. I'm going to hit wait. We're going to pull up the alt cam. It is no big deal. That is why we come in with 2 cameras. Unlock. Fit. Oop. Messed that one up. Fit to screen. Bingo. All right, let's get some sound on here for it as I restart the emulator. One moment. Gonna have to turn the sound on here for myself because I can't hear it. I know you guys can. All right, Aggressor getting the takedown on Fachi of AOR in the distance. SATIVA just holding position. Let me go ahead and close out this emulator. All right, trying to find that line of sight. No luck yet. But Tresley of De Muerte is going to find his mark. Sorry about that. We will have the emulator back up and running in just a few short moments. Meanwhile, De Muerte in this CQC altercation with the nearby opponents in NLO, and as you can see, he did not see and facing away. Trying to that walls, providing him some cover from his backside, and using that time to focus on that he can see. The devil you know is still safer than the devil you don't, but better to take out one of the devils if you have the opportunity. Alright, rejoin match. Yup. Alright. Gonna go ahead and turn that volume off, and we are launching this bad boy back up on the alt cam. Should be good to go in just a moment. Okay, gonna go ahead and get this down. Alright, Tresley firing outwards at AVA. Shots do connect, but was he able to get the steal? Ooh! Dishing out more damage, this time to Size Guy. Looks like Admin has been down. His teammate Force brought down to the prone zone and thirsted to follow. Now, in just a brief matter of moments, Size Guy has been reduced from a 3-piece down to the final hope for the team. Meanwhile, NLO in a aggressive push on the DAVRON in 999 coming in, UMP 45 in hand, put in the work, and yes, this is NLO just dominating the likes of the absolute heaviest hitters that we've seen so far today in MUERTE. Ooh, I withdraw that statement. FATUM LEX. Definitely going to have to be one of the heaviest hitters we've seen today. So, but still a very impressive performance there. We got Riva and Tosca remaining for 4K as Caliga and Rio are knocked. Riva trying to provide some overwatch and cover fire as Tosca tries to secure this revive. And then as you can see, off in the distance, Dagestan Academy really swallowing damage. Musa down as well as his teammate. That's going to leave Blago desperately trying to escape on his Ray, and Aggressor says, I think not, good sir. You are down, done, and dusted. That Ray is out of there. And now we are down to a 2-piece for the likes of Golden Legends. Only one legend remains, and that goes by Proxy, who was desperately trying to escape to what seemed to be those 4 walls of safety, that little shack, and missing his mark by just a few feet. Thank you, Becca. I appreciate you. It's good practice either way. I have no idea how many people are actually watching on Telegram, but I can only see what I can see here, so it's fine. All right, Rio knocked by a member of T271, and just like that, Ramzik was no time. Wow. That might... Okay, all right, thank goodness that was actually Admin who got that knock. I thought that was Ramzik in what may have been the quickest knock I'd ever seen in my career. But that is not to be the case. DAVRON, one of 2 remaining hopes here for LAPAR DAVRON. Or, I guess, pardon me, for T721. Trying to provide a little overwatch and cover fire while his teammates heal up, revive. That's going to put Admin in a world of hurt, and boy, the nades have spoken. Hellfire crashing all around him, and he is down and out of there. We are down to 3 teams spread across 7 players, ladies and gentlemen. It is definitely, doubtlessly, the end game here for round 3 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match. Let's get it. We got ourselves a 3v2v1. It's going to be T721 with the number advantage being Caster cursed by Red Eyes, saying that they had 3 members, well, down to 2. So it's a 2v2v1, an almost fair fight to end round 3 of 5. Aggressor taking a hefty load of damage, brought down to 2/3 of his overall health. Aurora desperately trying to find a position into this new zone and trying to use this opportunity to sneak his or her way in. Woo! And Aurora sees the mark. Unfortunately, it is just a numbers game, not in their favor. All right, we're going to go to Ramzik here as he prepares this 1v2. His teammate not able to get in there in time, and TESS does great work. And just like that, Aggressor is left as the final hope in a 1v2. It's T721 against NLO. And nades just hitting perfectly. I said this little analogy earlier, but Martha Stewart herself could not cook a nade as good as that. What a beautiful series of nades from TESS and NLO. And ladies and gentlemen, any way you look at it, that's got to be game over. But what a absolutely phenomenal performance that was. NLO putting up such a great in-game performance there, and doing so boasting a very healthy 15 elims. Hey, let's not discredit LAPAR DAVRON and the T721 team putting up a beautiful 17 elims. We got Dagestan in third, rocking it with 10 elims even. AVA in fourth with 11 between admin and force alone. 4K in fifth, and doing so boasting a healthy 12 elims. We got Golden Legend in sixth with 8. DG, this is gonna be the other Dagestan team in 7th with 4. De Muerte having a tougher go this time. 8th place, but doing so with 9 elims. OGC in 9th after what was such a great previous performance there. 9th place and 8 elims. Not Noobs in 10th with 10 flat. ARCRED, another tough go here. It's going to be 7 elims to their name between 3 of their players. FATUM LEX, a tough go for them as well. 5 elims between 3 of their players. Cave Esports and their CC DARKNESSA in 13th with 7 elims between Vatusha and Keep. AOR in 14th, and doing so with 12. 15th goes to QODEX with 9, 7 of which came from V8. S4 in 16th, but with a big fat onion for elims. And lastly, Danger Esports, they tried a little too hard to feel the danger this time, got 17th, last place with 4 elims to their name. Well, that's 3 of the 5 matches down, done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen, but we still have 2 more rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way today for the OGC PUBG Mobile Summer Cup Show Match. Stick around, be back soon. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with round 4 of 5 of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match. And you already know what we're getting into. A little bit less ideal of a flight path for the participants this time, but that's really not going to be relevant as this is a special show match mode, and you know that our participants are going to be dropping at the hot zone. And yep, as I say it, all but 2 teams are going to be heading down there. I'm going to wait for them to land, as there seems to be a graphic glitch with this new update. At first I thought it was an emulator issue, but I have been informed that the issue I've had has been experienced by a lot of people. So as it's not really a very serious one, if it goes away once we touch down, we're just going to go ahead and deal with it. All right, De Muerte does touch down, and as they do, Pusher is pushed right back into the plane the moment he touches in. You gotta feel a little bit of sympathy for it. SATIVA, not far off from Bache, the CC, competing for KAZANBAS and AOR Esports. Oh, KAZANBAS is the CC, my apologies. SATIVA dishing out some damage, not quite enough to connect. AOR up against YAKUDZA, the CC, for ARCRED. And yes, they have a takedown on Riva, but here comes FATUM LEX's Verinic, ACE in hand, and dishing out a hefty amount of damage to Verinic, but not before Verinic gets the takedown on Tosca. Revenge dished out in full form. It's a cold plate, and the takedown on Raygon to add on to it. Verinic securing his 3rd and 4th elims right then and there. All right. Gonna switch my attention over to members of De Muerte. At this point, Tresley is out of that zone. Helios just swimming above the sharks. Pusher, his teammate, coming into the action. UMP 45, that close quarter combat annihilator in hand. We got T721 after a phenomenal round 3 performance, getting a high ground angle to just pick off distant oppositions of OGC, as well as S4 and potentially De Muerte. But they're going to have to be careful, because look here, the sneaky water snake, Verinic, like a shark in the water, he smells the blood and trying to catch the off angle without drawing any attention to himself. But it looks like maybe those shots were aimed outwards towards him. Verinic takes minimal damage, if any. DG off in the distance as well. We're going to zoom in, make sure we catch all the lines of action here. And look, as we do it, Verinic getting yet another takedown to add into the mix, bringing him to his 5th elimination and the team's 9th. This is an absolute gladiator performance by FATUM LEX. And Verinic, if you didn't believe in the caster curse before this, ladies and gentlemen, I sure hope you do now. Because boy, oh boy, my words have so much weight. If I say someone's doing well, they are basically out of the match. All right, getting eyes on Antony. Oh, man. Y'all don't want the smoke. Anthony trying to secure a risky revive on the likes of Verinic. And the reason I say risky is because look who's approaching. It's Ramzik of T721. The UMP does the damage, but Verinic, with literally only the health he was revived with, securing the clutch. Every revive counts, and every second for those revive makes a difference. But Reno doing what the Uzi does in a close quarter combat and getting some revenge. All right, we're going to switch our attention a little bit, a couple hundred feet away, maybe a little bit northbound, to where Dagestan, this is going to be, pardon me, Dagestan alongside the content creator Aurora. There are 2 Dagestan teams competing in this today. Limbo Boom, so far, no elims in his name, and only 2 for the team, but they are still a full 4-piece, and you cannot put enough emphasis on being a full 4-person team, especially come in-game. Granted, this is the special event mode, so revives and respawns are very much a thing here. Looks like OGC Usyk coming in to join the party, swimming on in and catching a little bit of a line. Can he get the finish? Dishing out phenomenal damage, but look at that. Just dodged in the brief millisecond of time afforded to him. And look at him! Shifu says, no, I'm back, baby! And look at that. The confidence of just barely dodging the bullets and then knowing when they are securing that revive, being so close by to hear it, and boom, that's a done and dusted. Limbo getting the takedown on Colt right there. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see the takedown in the Elim feed, which would mean that it was very likely a third party from Rarino or a member of Team 15. Limbo just gritting his teeth as his teammate is eliminated just briefly. Shifu, now the last hope, is able to retaliate and make it all worthwhile. 3 Elims to his name and bringing the team up to a healthy 5. Not bad for the hot drop start, but so much action still here on the board. Gonna shift my attention to Cave Esports. Strictly back to the regular zone. Strictly out of the water. And that boy does not get his swimming certification today. So, gonna briefly tune in to AOR. AOR swarming in upon members of ARCRED like mosquitoes in a humid summer. Fache Uzi in hand. It looks like Redlick, his teammate, putting in some thirst off in the distance, and now cooking up a nade aimed over for Shifu of Team Avalanche. Getting eyes on Shifu. I don't blame him for this hesitation. No time to waste. We got to switch over to Varinik of FATUM LEX with this DBS. He is just waiting for the action. And while we have the moment, we're going to go get some other angles of the action here on the board. Pulling up the alt cam. We got Bumblebee just now landing, Proxy just landing, so that leaves Scoop as the only one remaining here at this hotspot area for the Golden Legends. And all the while, not Noobs putting in some work. We're going to switch over to ARCRED here. They're in the thick of it as we speak. But who is it? It's Bad Boy. And Bad Boy, with a low ground disadvantage, making the M4 shots look effortless as he secures the the knock on the high ground holder. And now with Fache literally clinging to life by the hair on his chin, it leaves a lot of temptation here for Bad Boy to drop down to try to push on a weakened opponent. But if he does, he's going to find himself very vulnerable to members of Dagestan 77, and I think he knows it. The patience I've seen from some of these teams is just next level. Being able to recognize the lay of the land and the context of enemy locations is so critical at this level of PUBG Mobile Esports. Look at this drop down. Bad Boy pulling off some hardcore parkour, and then just the second you see him, he is already back up a whole nother story, making phenomenal use of that water gun. All right, speaking of DG, in the distance, looks like Magnum putting in some distant work here. All the while, his teammate, the content creator Aurora, still very much in the equation. Aurora, no elims to her name yet, but the team of Dagestan sitting on a very healthy 7 elims so far. Switching over to the solo here from T721, that's going to be Rarino. These are two different regions. These are both of the different hotspots. So on the alt cam, we have Golden Leaders Scoop, very close by the members of Team 10, which is, of course, the not noobs. All right, well, on the main cam, that's not looking great for them. We're going to switch over to Varinik, who sits as a solo in this AOR swimming pool. And here comes the Kraken. And what if the Kraken wasn't enough intimidation, the outlying shots from Magnum, who I don't think Varinik can even see at this point. That's got to add even more weight onto his shoulders here, his or her shoulders. Limbo Boom somehow getting a drown elim on one of his opponents. That he must have ran them over, got him knocked, and then they must have drowned out from there. Well, Varenic's in a world of trouble here as AOR swarms on him. Numerous angles. I don't blame Dagestan 77 or Aurora for using this opportunity for a wide field rotation, or maybe even a opportunity to retreat. Granted, I'm not sure if you retreat from this water spot if you get that free respawn. All right. Well, I'm just being told by one of our viewers, not Ultra Champion Bolati, not Ultra in one. Thank you so much for letting me know, buddy. I apologize. I might have been given a slightly outdated slot list. It happens. I'm not quite as familiar with this region. I'm primarily known for the North American region, so I hope no offense is taken there. Thank you so much for letting me know, dude. I really appreciate that. We are going to go check in, make sure we're not missing anything on the board. Here we go. We got Rararino of T721. That candle is burning bright, baby. He is, well, I guess he's celebrating a, nothing. He's celebrating nothing. That candle has burnt out, so to speak, at the hands of AOR KAZANBAS. And KAZANBAS, you know, he is the CC joining the AOR team here. Pretty impressive performance from him today. He's definitely hanging in with the tier 1s. All right. Who is this from? Is it Varenic? Yep, Varenic of FATUM LEX still swimming in the mix here with 2 members of ARCRED. Are we missing anything elsewhere on the board? So far, having a look at the map, let's have just a brief check here. Not really, sorry about that, not really a lot else happening just yet outside of that altercation we were just watching. But up north, it does look like we're going to get some action as Danger Esports approaches NLO. Let's catch eyes here briefly. And I'll tell you what, we'll get both sides of the altercation, or both fights here on the board. Danger putting the pressure on NLO. We got, ooh! Sorry, I was trying to get to the opponent here. Sry, pardon me, sorry, here trying to get to a position of safety, trying to retreat from the chasing Stingray here. Him and Tess in a 2-seater, pulling some serious Vin Diesel OP driving strats. You got a lead foot, but if it gets you to safety, then darn it, you can be in the Fast and the Furious sequel, the 13th movie. It ain't about how you stand by your raid, it's about how you race it. And Danger and AOR facing off in a hilltop battle. Ooh, Wasto really had plans for that nade, but it is going to be a little too preemptive. And just like that, opportunities wasted from clinging to utilities. Luckily, Jorik already at the respawn in anticipation. But looks like we might even have a couple things working in the mix here. Not quite yet cooking yet, but potentially about to start cooking. And I'm putting a lot of pressure here on to not noobs because they are currently surrounded from 3 angles, and now their south side, which would have been their gatekeeping opportunity coming in, it's going to be Dagestan Academy, so that's going to put them in a peanut butter and screwed sandwich, a 5-way tangle surrounded on 4 sides. Not noobs who hold the school position. It's not that they don't have some cover. I withdraw that. No, okay, just had to render it. They do have some compound cover, and quite a bit of it actually, but any shifts in zone could really spell trouble. If they have to leave the safety of these walls, they are going to be vulnerable from literally 4 different angles. Dagestan Croissant, who may or may not know what sort of advantage he has there with that high ground potential, a little bit of patience could pay off in spades for him or for this member of De Muerte, Pusher, perched on the hilltop. And I think Pusher has a little bit more patience to it because he has a bit more context of it. Knowing just how surrounded they may be, he might know about more enemy locations. Croissant of Dagestan really kind of tunnel vision his way here into the MUERTE city, and looks like he may have even been looking for a vehicle to swap, an actual car to swap, but maybe not. Maybe he found a gas can. Either way, Pusher's going to make quick work of it, and that Croissant is burnt. He just got munched. So where is the next bit of confrontation going to come from? Look at this. Adding a little bit of anticipation to the context here. Pusher now taking shots inbound, not just from the not noobs, but from, where was that from? It must have been from either Dagestan or OGC. Well, speaking of, well, not speaking of, we're going to go to the golden leaders in S4G. S4G has not had a lot of screen time today, so we're going to get eyes on TESS NLO here, who is driving in a very vulnerable position in pursuit by 3 members of the Golden Legend crew, and bullets are connecting on the buggy. No damage to TESS just yet, but out of the frying pan into the fire, as they say, getting away from the first opposition and now finding himself driving past the second Dagestan team, still escaping their clutches. Look on this alt cam here, the position that Hardboy's using. I'm just going to put this up on the main screen for just a moment. Give a little credit to where credit is due. And when you can get geographical advantages, why not utilize them? Unfortunately, I think that he might be just a few meters outside of zone, but look at this. How do you even get up there? That is a strat that I have not seen utilized yet, but no time to waste. Magnum putting in some work in the distance, getting his first elim and the team's first as well. Meanwhile, his teammate Shifu, whoa, with the Groza being driven by members of S4 Gaming. Shifu putting out an M4 spray that does not connect as he had hoped. His location definitely now well known to the opposition in S4, but I don't think that they are going to prioritize an attack versus a rotation into this new zone. They're still going to have to find a way around DG into the safety of this new zone. Luckily for them, the entire western half of zone, the southwest half of zone, is open for grabs. Going to go back up north to the final hope for the first Dagestan team. This is, of course, Dagestan Academy, who is playing alongside, well, I guess Frozen is not on the team this match. Blago in a 1v3 against Not Noobs, gonna have to play a slow patience game. If they don't know about him yet, then he's got the right idea in just laying low. Gonna switch my attention further up north. Senator of Danger Esports being swarmed on by members of AOR. Does secure the revive, but immediately after, Red Lick gives him the red line, and boom, back to the lobby he goes. Fache taken down by the blue zone, and that brings me to reiterate a point that I made in round 1 or 2, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care who you are or what tier you play at. No one has a higher KD than that blue zone, and to underestimate it at this level of tier 1 PUBG Mobile Esports, it's gonna cost you. Bumblebee, well, fly like a butterfly, sting like a stingray, and Bumblebee is gonna try to do a little bit of that, keeping the pressure on the opponents in S4 Gaming. Maybe making use of that bubble gun, but maybe not. It looks like they're gonna try to retreat away from S4 here, and TESS trying to get eyes. Now, in the distance, we are hearing something. It looks to be, yep, that's gonna be the bullets that are coming towards Bumblebee are not actually from S4. They're from the distant members of ARC. That's ARCRED. Bumblebee now in a very questionable push towards a three-piece of NLO. This Dodgestan 77 here, pardon me. This is going to be interesting. Well, switching over to Tresley as he gets on to Cave. That was not an intentional switch, but we'll get that back up on the alt cam. Tresley aiming outwards now at members of AVA. This is Avalanche. De Muerte getting a takedown. So yes, it is his teammate who gets a takedown on one of the Avalanche members. SATIVA holding position. Scar El Groza in hand. That Groza could come in great use towards the later stages of this match when close quarter combat is what our teammates are relying on. All right, gonna have to switch over to Proxy, the final hope for the Golden Legends here. Can he live up to their name? Well, if he was gonna do it, a DBS would probably be the correct weapon to pull off a close quarter combat squad wipe against members of Avalanche. Luckily for him as well, there's a unintentional third-party assistance coming inbound from De Muerte, keeping Avalanche a little bit occupied here, Force swallowing some damage. But look at this admin anticipating Proxy's advantage from that. And as I say advantage, we see those bullets are not prejudiced. Those bullets will come out to Proxy as well if he gives them an opportunity. De Muerte is only here to dish out the muerte. They're not here to make friends. Okay, well, Tysa getting the takedown on Aurora, and Proxy in a world of hurt. That Molotov keeping the pressure, and boy, Hellfire just crashing left and right. And what the heck am I seeing? How? Oh, he's done the bubble move. Okay, I couldn't actually see the bubble barrier of that. Well, quick work. Nades sound the same in every language, so some of you may speak Russian, some of you may speak English, but the nade is a universal message. Back to lobby you go. All right, we are down to our final 19 players spread across 7 teams here, and look at this. No compound cover afforded to these participants. It is just fish in a barrel, open territory here. Now, in a situation like this, you have got to give credit to the geographical advantages that are afforded to you. And look, De Muerte in full form, even though nope, they are just only barely on the outskirts outside of the zone, but giving themselves geographical cover from the bullet fire, at least holding off as long as they can, letting these numbers dwindle. Every other team eliminated now is extra placement points for these teams. So they have a very good strategy here. Let these teams duke it out in this open bloodbath warfare war zone, I guess we can call it. And looks like Ultra... Pardon me, I remember, not Ultra. This is N1. But it looks like Ultra to me. Anyways, I'm going to call him Ultra just for the heck of it. Tommy 4 down by OGC there, and then Ultra now finding himself in a 1v1 with OGC. DBS. Oh my goodness. If that's not a message enough that the DBS still needs a little bit more nerfing to get a shotgun spray from 15 feet away and beat an M4 that has already landed bullets. That's a tough pill to swallow if you're the M4. Well, Bad Boy, one of the final 2 hopes for ARCRED. Look at this, responsible for literally almost 66% of the team's 20 elims. ARCRED, they are just on this berserker strategy. Berserker, I mean, back in the Gladiator days, just having 2, heavy-handed weapons, no shields. These guys are not about defending themselves. They are just aggressively pushing into these fights and doing so beautifully because they know they are comfortable in their close quarter combat confrontations. And look at this. Now it's down to Size Guy at the forefront. He does have some assistance with admin holding the back end. We're going to get both sides of this altercation up on the board, though, ladies and gentlemen. Not going to miss a lick of action. Size Guy in a nade exchange here. Bad Boy barely surviving that nade crash and does get the first aid in time and a preliminary boost. Raygon just peeks his head for a brief moment. That little brief moment was enough to tell Size just the general vicinity of where he was, and Bad Boy has made a fatal error in judgment, going for a risky replenishing of resources. But as I say, a fatal mistake. Size Guy makes a fatal error, and still in vulnerable territory, it is capitalized immediately, leaving Admin as the final hope. But boy, does he even those odds a bit. We are left here with a 1v1, Bad Boy versus Admin to end round 4. Woo! That was, I'm not gonna lie, I did not see who won that. If I hadn't like seen the elimination smoke, it would have been a coin toss in my eyes. But regardless, that's kind of an indicator that the match content and the gameplay was intense. So either way you look at it, game over. But how can you talk about match 4 without talking about Bad Boy of ARCRED putting up 15 eliminations of the teams? Count them up, you guys. 15 of the team's 23 eliminations. These numbers are insane. Avalanche, ain't nothing wrong with silver when you're coming in second with a healthy 18 elims. OGC in bronze with 5. De Muerte living up to their name, dishing out some healthy muertes. In 4th place, though, with 7 elims. We got Not Noobs in 5th with 5 between Ultra and Tommy 4. NLO in 6th with, count them up, 10 even between 3 of their players. Dagestan in 7th, and doing so with a healthy 13 elims. 8 of those 13 came from Shifu. The Golden Legends in 8th this time around with 6. We got S4 in 9th with 10. The other Dagestan team in 10th with 3. We got FATUM LEX in 11th this time around, but with 11. KV Sports in 12th with 6. AOR in 13th with 17 elims, though. Not bad. Danger Esports in 14th with 7. T721 in 15th with 5 between Ramzik and Rararino. 4K going to come in 16th this time around with only 2. And lastly, it's QODEX in 17th with 5. Well, ladies and gents, that is 4 matches out of the way. But one more short match is all that separates us from finding out who is taking home that their share of that $1,100 prize pool that OGC is putting on this Summer Cup show match day. It is gonna be insane. It's all come to this. We're going to end it where it all began and where it's always stayed, here on Erangel. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in just a brief short few moments with the 5th and final round of the OGC Esports PUBG Mobile Summer Cup show match. Be back soon. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. The fifth and the final round of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match is now. The highlighted section is where they're very likely dropping, but first, let's go over the overall scores as they currently stand. All right, compliments of this Telegram app that everyone is apparently using. So currently, it's ARCRED just holding a massive lead here. 21-point gain over 4K Esports in Rio, who hold second, and they have a 17-point gap over third. So it is quite a lot of outliers here. Regardless, let's go ahead and get into the thick of the action here as we drop in to our fifth and final round of PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup action. We got Croissant finding that water gun, gonna try to work his way away from this action. Look at this guy go. These people already know how to make such good use of these event accessories. Riddick with the knife! He just straight ganged on that guy. It was like, hey man, what makes you think I won't cut you? Because I'll cut you. Varinic down like a bad habit, leaving it in the hands of Miyaso 10, Ego, and Antony. Look at Miyaso 10, AUG 23 takedown on TESS as 999 tries to go secure a revive. He's finding himself caught in the line of fire as well. This is just insane levels of action. Got to pull up both cams. We got Dagestan. Blago is down. Croissant is already out of there as well. Switching down. Let's see who is actually still alive there. Well, we'll get up golden leaders as Uzbekistan is taken down. Bumblebee joins him in the prone zone. Ayaso 10 cooking up utilities here on the main cam for TESS. Will it connect? Wrong floor there. TESS cooking up some nades, but still not giving Ayaso 10 the attention he really deserves here. He has definitely kept the pressure on him from that distance. So to not even look his way and be in that open, vulnerable territory, as I say it, I choke on my words. Ayaso is just bombed like it was Baghdad. Ego retaliating very quickly on the first place holders in ARCRED and barely surviving it by the hair on his chin. Brought down to 10% of his overall health, but still able to seal the deal. I don't want to miss too much. Let's get back in there. We're going to go to Avalanche, where Admin is already down, sent back to the back to his respawn here, and everyone else on that team is already in that position. We're going to switch, I guess, to KODEX. Oops, sorry, I didn't realize that was going to be that quick. KODEX V8 dropping back into the action, and I think I understand why. They did have a last place finish in round 4, and so, hey, if they don't see that prize pool as a realistic grab, wow, that was insane. V8. This guy is the one who would put up literally 15 elims on his own, just dropping in like, I mean, I don't even have an analogy. He was a meteorite, and just the impact. The second his feet touched the ground, his enemy went back to, the respawn, but I like to say back to lobby. All right, getting our attention here. We got Cave Esports Vatusha, and boy, he is just meters away from Riva, his opponent in 4G. Meanwhile, Bumblebee on the alt cam, still in the event modes area. Down below, firing outwards and getting a knock onto AOR. Meanwhile, Vatusha gets his knock in the foreground. Switching down to the second Dagestan team, Aurora swimming down to rejoin and assist her teammates. Limbo Boom doing the not doing the opposite, rendering in. Shifu trying to hold off the oppositions of AOR and OGC. Luckily, they are focusing in on each other here. Fache pushing aggressively towards his opponent, Yuzik. Yuzik readily equipped that Vector, assuming it as the extended mag. That Vector could be a very formidable threat in kind of close proximity. Fache dodging Hellfire. He jumping over the flame and securing the takedown with the M4 and only taken down to just below half health. That was insane. Fache desperately needing to heal up and fast though, because trouble is brewing in the shape and form of Dagestan 77 and Aurora. Meanwhile, speaking of OGC here on the alt cam, we got Clyde running right into a confrontation with a member of S4 Gaming. Whether or not Clyde is aware is yet to be seen. But Fache still not out of the thick of it yet, and neither is these couple members remaining for the Golden Leaders. Golden Leaders having a rough go of it the past couple matches. Shifu, whoa. A sneaky water snake, and he's gonna get at least one person here. Bumblebee, I can't even blame Bumblebee for not expecting that. That was the level of strategy these players are exemplifying here is just next level. Shifu just getting takedown after takedown, bringing him or herself to 4 elims of the team's 6. Aurora, the invited CC for the show match, responsible for the other 2. And as I say it, Aurora getting a nade in the distance as I cast her curse Shifu in the foreground. That is a tough pill to swallow. All right. Switching out. Let's see where on the alt cam we'll switch out. Actually, no, we'll go on the main cam. De Muerte putting in some work as a 2-piece now. And on the alt cam, we'll go back to where DG and Limbo Boom, well, as I say it, Limbo Boom is retaliated on and thirsted. So, Magnum will now be the alt cam focus as Tresley of De Muerte tries to hold off the on-looming threat coming in from the Dagestan Academy. Well, Tresley gonna try to fall back to a position of safety, maybe even catch a surprise angle on, wow. All right, never mind. That was not his nade. Of course it was not his nade. All right, Tresley just still anticipating a push there. However, he could be in trouble as Ultra coming in from the back angle, finding that UMP, gonna use this opportunity to loot it, but picking up that weapon might have even made enough noise for Tresley to hear. Probably not, though. Oh, definitely not. I withdraw that previous statement. We got 2 sides of 2 different hotspot drops here. On the alt cam, we have Magnum of Dagestan 77 of Aurora's team holding position against TESS of NLO. Here on the foreground, ooh, Ultra of the Not Noobs trying to desperately swim up to a off angle here. Maybe even perch himself or him or herself up on the rooftop. Does not get there successfully, and still in a very dangerous position here with De Muerte coming in, and it's actually going to be Danger Esports' Tonight that gets the takedown. Now Tresley of De Muerte is the one swimming in danger. And on the alt cam, we'll see if there's any other fights to pull up. Tresley putting the shots down. That high ground was the advantage, but it's just ultimately more so a disadvantage when you don't have the numbers to hold off the guns. You know, you can have a high ground all you want, but when it's the numbers of 3 to 1, it's going to be odds stacked against you, basically no matter what. So while those, you know, altercations can happen and can be, you know, tackled victoriously, it does not happen very frequently, especially not at the tier 1 level where everyone you're fighting is a professional player. And as I say that, there's a pan kill from Cave Esports' Strict. You don't see a lot of pan elims at this level, but when you do, they are special. Strict using this opportunity to rotate out. We're going to switch our attention to Danger Esports' Waz, because he is just swimming in danger, stuck in between 2 members of Dagestan Academy. Luckily, he has Tonight here with him, along with the full force 4-piece team. So realistically, the numbers are slightly... Oh, pardon me. The numbers are very much in Danger Esports' favor. They outnumber the opponent 4-2. So it makes you wonder what the hesitation is.
But I do got to say, I like the 3-1 split, having an outlier here in the shape and form of Tonight. But Tonight, clearly it wasn't part of the plan. Tonight going to come rejoin his teammates and solidify as a singular unit. I kind of think that they were in a more advantageous position with the 3-1 split. But that's with Spectator 2020 hindsight. Look at him catching on to Croissant. Croissant says, uh-oh, and trying to swim away as fast as he can. And by all means, it is, you know, a Olympic level swim team effort, but it's not going to be enough. And Tonight, the chase was all that was needed to give that panic factor onto Dagestan, and Danger just capitalized. Easy takedowns. We're going to switch over back down to the other Dagestan team, where Limbo Boom is squaring off against multiple members of the Golden Leaders. Bumblebee, ooh, she just left her sting. Will she pass as a result? Ooh, yes, she is downed off the Ray. And now it is a phenomenal showing there from the Dagestan Academy, playing alongside Aurora. 11 elims to their name so far, and now out of the thick of it. Going to switch back down, this time to Military Island, where members of T721 square off against the Cave Crew. And on the alt cam, we'll have a little something with AOR's Fachi holding position against the aggressive threat. Speaking of aggressor getting a takedown on Cave and then immediately retaliated upon. Ramsey adding on to the damage. Aggressor was able to start and getting the takedown on the CC of Cave Esports. Let's switch over to Cave, which at this point is now relying on Strict alone. Oh, pardon me, Strict and Vitusha alone. It is a 2v2, though, realistically. As Ramzik is going to push out, DAVRON, or pardon me, as Ramzik pushes out, LAPAR is taken down with a very clutch utility there, just to help even these odds a bit. Now Vitusha, enshrouding him or herself in a cloud of smoke, and use this opportunity to heal, and then keeping the pressure back on Ramzik. Says, you get back in that house. I didn't say you could leave. And now, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. A matter of moments separated a advantage from the four wall holders in T721. Now it's a 3-1 advantage in favor of Cave Esports. And on the remainder of the playing field, not seeing a lot happening. Oops, sorry about that. Not really much else on the board that I'm missing. There is close proximity between Avalanche and their opponents in Danger, but they've been there for a bit. So, you know what? We'll go to NLO. NLO is getting action. At this point, NLO is down to a two-piece of TESS and 999. But look at this. These two teammates do have 9 elims between the two of them. Of the team's, oh, wow, of the team's already boastable 15. And there's still 43 people remaining on the playing field. Cave Esports getting into it. Vitusha in the thick of it, very close by. Oh, pardon me, guys. Vitusha very close in the thick of it by a member of Team 11. But it looks like they will be able to get out of there with the assistance of that vehicle. And get those placement points, ideally, and, you know, maximize their placement overall as best as possible. All right, well, here we have it. This is going to be the standoff here between members of S4 Gaming, just eagerly awaiting that Danger Esports push, but a Heartless shot through the heart, and he was himself to blame as he just turned his back onto a very tactical push inward by Danger Esports. Danger is on freaking fire. Some of these plays that they are executing are just next level. But to say that they have just broadcasted their location to Avalanche would be an understatement. And look, Avalanche preparing for a third-party push here. Granted, the third party is not so much. The third party's already been... there is no third party, I guess is what I'm trying to get through, if words weren't so darn tough sometimes. But Admin, with his off angle, he's got two opportunities. he can either lay low and be the outlying surprise shooter, or he can do what he's doing here, him being the focal point and giving the other 3 members of the team the opportunity for off angles, and I think that's paying off much more advantageously than vice versa here. Oh, shots onto Tonight. He's got a knock on to one of the members, but will it be enough for a push? Senator very low on health, using this opportunity to heal. And look at that. A little tunnel vision can be a team's undoing. An AOR coming in with the off-angle, quick work, third-party push of their own. Avalanche now using this opportunity to move that red Ferrari, pardon me, that red Lambo to a position of safety. I can't believe I just mixed up Ferrari and Lambo the day after I get that same Lambo. All right, size guy keeping the pressure on, but all the while we got more altercations here on the board. Looks like members of FATUM LEX did some unintentional assistance right then and there. Not just to the Danger crew, but also to the Avalanche. I mean, unintentional assistance as it was, it did give them that brief moment to retreat. We're going to switch on down briefly back to Avalanche, as it seems that they're actually about to get piled on, ironically enough, this time by 4K, Danger Esports, and a potential southbound threat in FATUM LEX. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, this is our final round, our 5th and final round of the night of the OGC Summer Cup Show Match event. And here we have Danger versus Avalanche. Before I talk about an Avalanche, as 3 players swarm, just pile upon this guy on Danger like an actual Avalanche for taking and bursting their teammate. So while they are reduced down to a 3-piece, they still have Force, Skilias, and Size Guy. Force is downed right in front of our eyes, but Skill, with a revive on the mine, has eliminated the nearby threat, and now we see members of Danger being shot at by none other than 4K. Tonight is not going to live to see Tonight. He is sent down to the prone zone, leaving the good Senator here to carry on through this tough, election season here as a solo. And ironically enough, driving out of the frying pan and close to a solo fire, potentially of Boston. Withdraw that solo statement as Scry and the remainder of the teammates are here. Meanwhile, OGC crew putting work on to members of NLO in the distance, and 9 finishing the job right then and there, getting him off of the buggy and back to the lobby. We're going to switch our attention. Yep, we got a real tough pill here for OGC, as Petikansky is desperately trying to secure a revive on his fallen teammate Clyde, but with Scry and Tess just above them, and if they have any utilities in hand, those smokes that OGC put out will very likely be their undoing. Ooh. Well, Tess gonna use this opportunity to bow out. It's a move. It's a move. But no time to waste, as the not noobs put a hurtin' from a distance onto this close quarter confrontation between 4K and their opponents in FATUM LEX. All right, well, it looks like they got a breath of fresh air as Avalanche comes in to work and chip away at the looming threat in Not Noobs. At this point, Ultra is the final hope for this Not Noob team, and that is a tough one, especially having a low ground disadvantage with enemies on both ends of your backside, and a 3-piece that has a high ground advantage directly above you, meaning that if Ultra even fires back at this team, even if you were to pull off the 1v3, he's very likely going to be easy pickings for the likes of 4K Esports. And ultimately, it won't come to that, as Force lives up to his name and just crashes down upon him with a heavy force. Now, switching our attention to the westbound coastal region, as Scry of NLO preparing in this altercation against OGC. Looks like his teammate 99 having a tough go and taken down. Scry, what is going on with that? TESS with a high ground here. Boston pulling a flank rotation. Realistically, this is interesting to see because OGC and Golden Leaders really putting them both of themselves in very risky positions as far as they know. There was an enemy at the cliff top. While there isn't now, these teams don't know that. So they are sacrificing potentially their own overall placement to engage in this 2v2. And Bumblebee is going to make the most of it. Bubblegun implemented in effect here. Uzbekistan coming in on an array of his or her own. This is a tough one. Clyde finding the boat, and that could be particularly useful for several reasons. Just the ability to fire back. The odds of retreating in this boat aren't very good, so if Clyde goes for it, it's going to be, yeah, it's a tough one. Well, Clyde, you're going to learn today. Pitikansky not looking like he's in a much better situation. We're going to switch on over to NLO in this close quarter fight. It looks like that close quarter fight has been resolved. So back now to OGC and this tussle here. Pitikansky is down. Clyde with very little health. A dying water snake, desperate for a revive on his fallen teammate, just trying to keep their team name alive. But in the worst of times, the blue zone says, no, I think not. A bubble gun to finish the job. And just like that, even though Golden Leaders put all that work in, not quite able to get the elim in their favor. Yeah, that's going to be one for the blue zone. The blue zone inherits the beef. All right, both sides of the altercation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 4 teams in the final round of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match. Final round, 4 teams spread across 11 people. It is in-game time. Bloodbath warfare from here on out. Let's go. Bumble from atop the ray. Taken down, leaving everything in the hands of Proxy as Uzbekistan is joining Bumblebee in the prone zone. And now Proxy going to have to hold this shack. These four walls providing that false sense of comfort. But if an enemy approaches that shack and they remain hidden, it is almost certain undoing. It's fish in a barrel for a nade. Well, Avalanche about to approach a NLO team in a ticking time bomb, but look at it, making the absolute most of it. What was a Fast and the Furious level strategy, fishtailing into the opponent for the knock, but ultimately and almost tragically taken down immediately after before they could enjoy a Vin Diesel worthy elim. Well, thank you for the clip, though. 3 teams remain. It is a 2v2v2, a fair fight to end our 5th and final round, ladies and gentlemen. Shots have been fired by Voston. Not a lick of connecting damage, and now Voston and Scry remain as the only 2 people here against a 3-piece. So the odds aren't entirely stacked against them. It's a 2-2v3, slightly against their favor. But crazier comebacks have happened for sure. Voston going to try to make the most of those utilities, trying to get a preemptive knock, making it crash Hellfire around the opponents, but no such connecting damage. All right, we have both sides of the NLO approach here. Voston risking it for the biscuit, and I don't agree with this one bit. Very lucky to even be alive at all through that. That blue zone chipping away, and now, well, he does find himself a P9, him or herself a P90. That could be worse. Also, I'm going to say this is a bit of overly hesitant 4K. The numbers they know are in their favor. They know they have one more person on their team. They don't want to give any easy offerings to the opponent. But look at this, Boston with beautifully placed water nades. However, in throwing them, giving up his own location. When your nade is a honing beam to the enemy's nades, that's, oof, tough pill. Scry, now the final hope for NLO. And boom goes the dynamite. All too literally. There is not really a better, more appropriate way to end the 5th round of the PUBG Mobile OGC Summer Cup show match than we just had right there. Nades for days, ladies and gentlemen. And any way you look at it, that is game over. And what a freaking day of gameplay it has been. 4K annihilating the playing field, doing so with 12 elims. So while I do say annihilate, let's put that in context and comparison to NLO. So 2 less placement points, but if you want to get into the thick of it, you can add 25 elims to it. So that 25 elim point gain plus the 8 placement point gain, that's a 33 point gain for NLO in the final round alone versus a 22 point gain for 4K. So realistically, the dub performance for round 5 has to go to NLO, but let's not discredit for 4K for getting that chicken dinner. We got the golden leaders, maybe not golden leaders, the bronze leaders, as they get that bronze medal 3rd place finish with 6. AVA, the Avalanche, crashing into 4th here, but doing so with a healthy 15 elims to add to it. OGC coming in 5th with 3 between Usyk and Pitikansky. 6th place belongs to AOR, and that's going to be with 15 as well. KV Sports coming into 7th with 13 elims. We got the Not Noobs in 8th with 4 elims between Dawn and True. We got FATUM LEX in 9th and doing so with 7 elims. T721 in 10th and with a healthy 9 elims to add to it. Dagestan in 11th with 12 elims. We got Danger, not able to outlive the danger themselves as they come into 12th place with, ironically enough, 12 elims. The other Dagestan team, just 1 position after, in 13th as a 3-piece, though, with 2 elims. We got S4 working their way into 14th with 3. De Muerte having a tough go this time, but give credit to Tresley putting up 4 elims on his or her own. But it's going to be 15th with 5 for De Muerte in round 5. Well, here's the thing. You can say ARCRED, had a tough finish, or you can say ARCRED saw that they had a 21-point lead over 2nd place and decided to have some fun with it. There is $1,100 on the table. Not sure if that's the right move, but when you're getting 2nd to last place with 9 elims, you've already made your point that you are absolutely comfortable in your confrontation altercations, and give them credit to get 2nd to last place and manage to put up 9 elims before being taken out. That's pretty impressive work, and they're probably also going to get the overall 1st place, but time will tell. And speaking of time, we got QODEX in 17th, and for 2 rounds in a row they get last place, 3 elims to their name. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Down, done, and dusted. It has been an absolute honor and pleasure getting to watch and commentate this. I am fully aware if anyone is going to be checking the stream out, it is going to be after the fact, because apparently there are social media platforms we don't quite have utilized very much in NA, and so this stream was primarily a Telegram stream. I don't even have a Telegram. Never even heard of it before this event. We have Instagram. But I just got to say, the level of gameplay was a real treat to watch, and the format of this event was one that I'm not really, that I don't really get to participate in very often, so it was a real treat to get to be a part of it and just watch that absolute bloodbath warfare from the second the participants dropped down in the underwater hotspot. That was just insane gameplay, and all these teams just going to show how they got to be at this professional level. And give credit to a lot of these content creators who actually hung in there against these T1 pros. But ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching after the fact, my name is Red Eyes. I'm primarily a semi-professional shoutcaster, commentator, host, analyst, and camera crew for AMG's production team for the North American region. But I love getting the opportunity to spectate other regions and this elevated level of gameplay, this next level use of utilities. This was an absolute honor and pleasure getting to cast this for OGC, and huge shout out to the OGC org for putting on such a phenomenal and extensive community tournament. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for me. We're not going to be going over the overall scores here because I've been told it could take a while for them to come out and be released. But if you are in the OGC Discord, you know they'll be released there, as well as this mythical Telegram platform is where I believe the majority of people will go to get the scores. But until next time, I've been Red Eyes, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Enjoy your PUBG Mobile games, and go watch PUBG Mobile World Cup. Enjoy that. Stay up to date in all things esports related, and support OGC. Have a good one, guys.